Hello, a very fantastic evening to you viewers. Whatever I catch the signals on Sunrise TV from, I would like to say thank you so much for being part of our Sunrise TV, whereby you give you exclusive analysis in the world of sports. Remember, this is the Sports National Vex, whereby we do give you much of the time to see that we discuss football at length. And this show is probably brought to you by Sabirama Global Ventures Limited, the biggest national sponsor of this show. They do have got a lot of actual activities that they deal in supply of goods, they deal in procurement actual items in the sole sponsors of this particular show. My name is Senior Geroh, the host of the show. I'm not alone in this. I do have my colleague in the name of Rubanga Ken Morris, the only pride actually in West Nile, right with me. Remember, it has been a very rain kind of even here in Arua City, wherever you're casting the signals live from. Remember, shortly after here, we will be connected live to TOK to give us the latest about the Wener Quran. And again, I will be connecting to the media officer of Moyo, actually, Moyo Stars in there. You remember, there's a very good actual team that plays in Moyo. It is a team full of ladies football. So I'll be connected to the media officer down in Moyo to give us some details about one of the players who has crossed over to South Sudan. I will be telling you who the player is, and then within here, there are a lot of transfers moving, making rounds here actually in Ugandan football. Jude Semgabe is the latest player thought to be actually joining a team in the names of Jamus FC down in South Sudan, and one of the latest players who have been linked to a team in South Sudan is also Andama Junior and Amir Faizi. Remember, these are players who have been touted to be joining a team in the names of Qatar FC. Morris, you are most welcome to the studios of Saturday. Before we connect to TOK to give it, to give us the latest information regarding the Wener Quran that will be taking place on the 12th of this month.
Thank you, Geroh. It's a pleasure being at Sarah's TV. As you said, we shall always do sports, but you only forget one thing, that I'm not only the proud actually in West Nile, but in the entire world. So.
All right, let's first connect to TOK shortly, and then we shall be giving you more of the information. Here we have got a lot of sporting stories. That's the hook. Remember, Sales Football Club will be playing in what we call, they will be playing in the semi-finals of the FIFA Club World Cup. Let's first connect to TOK, then we see whether TOK will be in a position to connect with us live, wherever he is, to give us the latest information regarding the Wener Quran. Remember, it's not the first time that Wener is organizing this kind of competition here in West Nile, and we are here to see whether TOK, I don't know, is it because of the weather? The phone seems not to be going through, and let's first wait and see whether we can be connecting to TOK again. More before we connect to TOK, I think, yes, we can connect to TOK first before you chip in a little bit here. And the Wener Quran is one of the biggest actual steps. Yes, TOK.
Hello.
Yes, please, TOK.
Yes, please.
Yes, you're live on Saturday TV, and it's the Sports Desk.
Pleasure to be on this TV. I hope you guys are doing well.
Yeah, we are doing great. Yes, currently tell us where you are. Where you are, and then give us the brief actual information about the Wener Quran.
I'm at Tuambe Sports Arena, and I am basically here because this is one of the places I work in, and we have the corporate league coming from the 18th of this particular month.
Yes.
The corporate league will probably have a number of teams come through, but importantly, the purpose of today is action on climate. So that means people are paying monies, and part of the CSR money will go on to sensitize public about the dangers of the misuse of the environment. People encourage plant trees, and so far we have over 10 teams that have registered. Hopefully by 14th, that is next week Monday, the draws or the fixtures will be out. 4 days later, the competition officially will be starting, and it will be running for the next 3 months. That means the corporate league can go up to the touch of the times when the Premier League club could be on. We're talking about the English Premier League.
Yes.
In the competition, the first one was won by Big Time Computer Empire. The second one was won by Uganda Police. The third one has just recently been won by Heritage Court. So this year, we are actually looking forward to seeing a new winner. In case Heritage, Big Time, and the police not actually come into a perhaps decided bigger. But initially, this has actually been able to create awareness, and it has been able to generate teams like UNSR, Danish Refugee Council. We have heritage courts. We have West Nile-based, the lawyers. We have Arua Regional Referral Hospital. Then there are teams like Jammy Water. We have new teams like Usidito probably coming through. So it's a big one. We'll have a better discussion maybe another day. Yes.
All right. First, take us through about the details of Wanreko Run.
Well, the Wanreko Run is also another annual run that Wanreko organizes in partnership with Uganda Athletics Federation, UAF, and there is also a partner in Mayang. That's West Nile. The district in Mayang. I mean, West Nile probably have Mayang on board. And for this year, it will be taking place on the 12th of July, 2025, and it will be at Parifa. That means this week, Saturday. The activity is aimed at giving opportunity for youngsters or probably all stars within the region and across, because it's a national or international event. We'll be able to see athletes come from Congo, from Kenya, from Rwanda, from other neighboring countries, but also importantly, from within the country that is Uganda. This would then be able to have some guest, athletes or probably guest persons come through. Dr. Zinjikuru will probably be here. She is known as the world champion at one point. Sida Lenin is expected to be here, but she also has another responsibility in another country, representing Uganda. And then we have Stephen Kiprotich, the Olympic gold medalist, probably coming through. Registration fee and participants are expected to go to the various districts and register. Like, for example, if you come from Zombo, you come from Pakwach, Nebi, Madiokolo, Adua District, Adua City, Maracha, Terebu, Yumbe, Koboko, Obongi, Moyo, Ajumani. They're expected to go to those districts. But in case you're coming as an independent, you'll also be able to win some money, because this is run for money, and this activity will probably be starting as early as 8 a.m. with aerobics, and then also the other parts will be in there. There will be a press conference to that effect, and I think it will be tomorrow. More details in that regard will come. But the products of the Wanreko Run are actually starting in various schools within the country, and they're pretty doing well. And one of them actually participated in the African Youth Championship as far as athletics is concerned. And so this is historic, and it is something that every other West Nile has got to participate in. Wanreko has set aside millions of shillings to probably be able to promote talent within West Nile. Apart from lightening the region, they're actually looking at also kind of giving it a boost in terms of the sponsorships and, of course, the prize money that will be going out to various other persons. So this would be the first edition of the annual Wanreko Run.
Okay.
Wanreko, for those who don't know, is a West Nile Rural Electrification Company, the suppliers of power we have in the region. Yes.
Oh, yes. Yes, TOK, actually, before I let you go, tell us where the press conference will be, because we would like to actually to see that we broadcast live here on the TV screens.
Well, our press conference will be at Wanreko offices, but I think I'll be able to tap on you. I'll let you know of the other details, because they're not supposed to be so public, because it's the media press conference.
Yes.
Now, I'll let you know.
All right. TOK, Morris is here with me, and he has a question for you.
Yes.
Yes, TOK, good evening.
An English question, Morris. You like Gachori.
Thanks a lot. What should the athletes actually expect from this Wanreko Run? Because they've been doing it several times, but I haven't seen anyone who is picked from West Nile maybe to go and do trials into the youth championship. As you mentioned very well, that they had somebody who have ever played in youth championship, but from West Nile, I haven't heard of anything like that. I think I've been following that run, that Mayang run. I think this is now the third year that they've been doing it in West Nile here, but I haven't seen any impact.
Maybe, apart from the question, let me take time to educate you. The Mayang is a setup that probably brings the entire region together.
Yes.
Mayang run happened recently in Koboko. It's a different run. Mayang comes as a partner to team up with the Uganda Athletics Federation, and then Wanreko organizes the run and facilitates. I talked about an athlete that represented and is called Osuta, is currently at coach assets. is probably one of the best athletes you have of those who are still young. So about why people should run, it could be for fitness, it could as well be for money. I've told you that every other person who participates there will be able to get money. Like even just like I told you, there's a press conference and this is all money. So I think what Rex is doing a pretty good job, not because I'm an internal person, perhaps I've been hosting most of these editions, but I think it's a pretty good opportunity for all of us. And I think one of these days, one of the best things you could do is in maybe the PR person for one record, and probably that person will be able to kind of give you a brief and do a breakdown. But I think Uganda Athletics Federation also has a good breakdown. But I can promise that you guys will be part of the press conference and you'll be able to pick some of the information from there.
All right, thank you.
Direct from the point there.
All right, thanks so much also for speaking to Sunrise TV.
It's a pleasure, and for those who are viewing the TV, much as I came in audio, I would like to encourage that such innovations be supported. Would love to see bigger sponsors come on board, and it's a pleasure to be here. I think it's my debut. It's the first time to probably be able to share on this TV, and I will be on standby. Anytime you need me, I'll probably be able to. But of course, the right address to me is I am the former media officer, West Nile Province, PRO West Nile Region, PRO by the Black Angels, PRO, this is the man Doves All Stars.
Yeah.
And I'm also a sports administrator accredited.
A veteran one.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Most you have actually got all this actual information from TOK about the Woner Quran. Why not give you give you time, to give your opinion about that? Let's first connect to Moyo, to the media officer of Moyo Stars from a club, and the lady has crossed over to borders and she'll be playing for Yei Joint Stars. Let's first connect to Moyo and we see whether the media officer will be important to speak to us and tell us the details about Vivian's successful move from Moyo Stars to a club in the name of Yei Joint Stars. Let's first connect to the media officer down in Moyo and we see what actually he'll be telling us about Vivian's move down in Yei Joint Stars. I think it's going through. Let's first wait and see whether he'll be important to speak to us and give us in-depth analysis regarding Vivian's move in there. Remember, this has been someone who has been so instrumental for a team in the names of Yei, actually, in the names of Moyo, actually, time there. And we will be grateful in case he picks it up. Yes, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, please. You're live on Saturday TV here in Arua City.
Yes, please. Thank you so much, and I'm really happy to be part of the discussion, brother.
All right. That is the atmosphere in Moyo, like especially there have been regionally actually games going on down in Jumani. You can paint us a small picture about that before we come to the story of Vivian actually crossing over to Yei Joint Stars from Moyo Star.
It's okay, thank you so much. Of course, when you talk about the ball games too, which have just been concluded in Germany, I wasn't around. I was taken away by some official duties in South Sudan and also DRC.
Yes.
By the time I came back, I realized the game was done and that's it. But I'm hopeful it was well concluded and everything happened in the right way.
All right. Okay. Paint us a small picture about the atmosphere generally in Moyo, like how excited the fans of Moyo Star regarding Vivian's move to Yei Joint Stars.
When you talk about a school called Moyo Star, it is one of the most public schools, of course, across West Nile,
yes,
if not within West Nile.
Yes.
And this is a school which is a private school which is aimed at promoting talent. Not only, of course, boys' talent, but of course, girls' talent. You also look at it as something very, very important. And it is a lifelong project which is spearheaded by me, the person who is speaking,
yes,
because I am the sporting director for a school. I'm the person who identifies all these players from different districts, different countries, bring them together, nation them, make sure that at least they do something out of nothing. The talent is always well taken care of. So that is Moyo Star for you. So this is a school that has already gotten very many players on ground. Like this very term, second term, I've already signed 15 girls,
yes,
from different schools. Others are from South Sudan, others are from DRC, others are within West Nile, others are from the central side. All of them, of course, are here on ground because this is a project whereby we aim at replacing the old ones with the young ones. There is academy. The team has been divided into 4 different groups. We have first team players, second team players, the third team players, and the academy players who are always there in the system. That is for girls football. But for boys, it is only the senior players and the junior team. Now, talking about the captain for girls football team, Kayungu Vivian Ega, this is a very special player, a very young, talented footballer. Someone who is in her 17s, she's a box midfielder. She was brought to this school while she was in senior 1. She completed her primary 7 from Masolwa, that is down in Leforin. And she's a very hard-working young girl. She started her footballing career here under my full watchful eyes. I was the very person who inspired her, who took very good charge of her. Of course, we monitor her progress closely. And for her being hardworking, she was able to achieve very many things in her footballing career. And as a result, there are, of course, news everywhere that she has put pen on paper, signing for one of the super organized teams in South Sudan, that is Minister, because they have been always there for South Sudan, and they are one of the top footballing teams in South Sudan.
I remember they have been the champions.
Yeah, they have been the champions of South Sudan during the recently completed season.
Yes.
And that one has forced them to go across the country to search for more talent. And this happened to be one of the players that have been tracking since last year. Not only just remember clubs like Kampala Queens, you talk about even UCU Cardinals, clubs with the top teams in Uganda, they have been tracking these girls. But of course, what I can try to tell you, as an advent to come, and also as the sporting director, the rumors you have, of course, Vivian has put pen on paper signing a contract with South Sudanese giant Joy Star. It is true. Vivian, Kayungu Vivian, of course, during the recently concluded ball games in Bukedia, I'm talking about, of course, the girls football in Bukedia.
Yes.
She didn't complete the tournament. Remember, she was called upon by South Sudan to go and play in the AFCON under-20 qualifiers.
Yes.
That was her first call up into South Sudan national team. But before she was called into the South Sudan national team under-20, not the junior team, she has been tracked by Uganda national team. Of course, the sequence under-20, the senior coaches, the technical team of Uganda tried everything to make sure that she represents Uganda. But of course, the competition being very stiff, it was South Sudan that has successfully, of course, worked on the deal to make sure that this girl represents South Sudan national team. Now, talking about her history, remember Kayungu is a born South Sudanese, Ugandan young footballer. So it means he has the eligibility of playing for both countries, representing either Uganda or South Sudan. So there were Indians registered from Kenya and also DRC, because I'm someone who also works down there in DRC for some class, of course.
All right.
Now,
let's first talk about the money that Moyo Star popped in from this deal.
The what?
The money that you guys get from Vivian's deal crossing over to Yei Joint Stars.
Of course, Vivian's moved to Yei Joint Star. The amount of money, of course, Moyo Star got from that club called Yei Joint Star is still undisclosed, because there are very many things to be worked on. But what I can tell you that it is a very good amount of money whereby both parties are going to benefit, the parents and also the school administration who tirelessly worked to see this girl is at this level. There is not only Kayungu Vivian. Remember, these girls, there are 4 who went for trials essentially in Juba for Yei Joint Star, and all of them were successful. And Vivian happened to be the captain, and she was the very person who spearheaded the group that went for trials in Yei Joint Star. Star is not only having players for Yei Joint Star, we have players for Simba Sport Club in South Sudan. There is a team called Bor Football Club. They also get in girls from us. So we are looking forward to see how best we can try to market these girls to expose their talent across the country.
All right. Thank you so much for giving your time and speaking to Sunrise TV.
Very okay, please. Thank you so much, brother.
All right. Yeah, that's actually the director and the same time the media officer for Moyo Stars in there. Remember, this school has been so influential in girls football in West Nile, and everyone is talking about the school.
Yeah, it's a good school. The first day I noticed Moyo Desta, it was 2023. That's when St. Mary's, we went up to, I was with St. Mary's, actually trying to part-time with St. Mary's, helping them into girls football too. So I happened to realize this star in that very moment, where we went up until the semi-final. Actually, they are the one who beat us on the semi-final. It was a 2-1 score. So I met a certain girl by Jeremiah. I told her, mark this captain, because if you look at her passing ability, her kind of she's a brain game player.
Yes.
Physicality, her passing skill, too good. So I gave one task to my player. Can you please mark for me only this girl, whether she has a ball, whether she doesn't have a ball, mark her. And until we managed her, until it was a different person who got the winning goal, but she's one of the best. She's not picked by gamble, by what, as the manager said. It's by merit. I've ever watched her playing, not by kind of lies. It is true. Now, the only thing that I feel like he should actually come one time and disclose the amount of money that they signed her for, so that it motivates these other girls to love football. Because now if you just say, I've joined South Sudan, the money is undisclosed, it demotivates someone. It could be like this is a gamble business. You understand? So it is very important, at least to spread the gospel to the world that, yeah, this girl are joining. You see, like Premier League, the way they do their things. Although in Uganda here, we are still behind, even though these professional footballers, you find the cases signing a player without disclosing any amount. But I think they should be the first and the first example into girls football, so that it gives kind of promotion. The girls get motivated into the game. I think that's better.
All right, Moritz, before we talk about KCC's story, remember, KCC manager, co-managers in the names of Brian Senond and Jacqueline Magera spoke out to the media today and said that they are here to make KCC proud again. Remember, the last time KCC won silverware in Ghana was way back in 2019. We shall talk about that, but let's first come back to the script and we'll discuss about the latest players from West Nile, and they're crossing over to South Sudan. Two of them comes from Ondupraka Football Club. I'm talking about Andama Jr., who has been so instrumental for this team of Ondupraka. In the squad around 9 goals in the big league of Ondupraka last season, and again providing 5 assists. This is a player who is crossing over to a team in the names of Kator FC down in South Sudan. One of the players is the defender in the names of Amir. Is also crossing over to Qatar FC. He said to all of these players are set to sign 2 years contract actually with the team in the names of Qatar FC. And then the latest player is a player in the names of Opak Wolf Benjamin, aka Messi, who plays for Paida Black Angels. Remember, this was the player who was thought to be signing a 2 years contract with a team in the names of Bulu FC in the South Ghana Premier League, but it seems like he has actually denied all those allegations. He's set to put pen to paper on a 2 years deal for a team in the names of Qatar FC down in Juba. Maurice, what's the reality about the South Sudanese league here? Remember, all the players are crossing over to South Sudan. Remember, Jude Semgabi of Chitera Football Club, he's set to cross over to Jamus Football Club. Let's first speak it here and we discuss Western football.
You see, probably, Geroh, I won't lie to you. Our football here in Uganda is more kind of exposed than the football in South Sudan. They've just started the league. Now, the biggest question is, for me, I think the correct answer is everybody is crossing over to South Sudan because of earning a living. The way clubs pays players here, I think is not right, and it's making every player to cross over South Sudan. Yeah, if you get a deal, a very clean deal of around maybe 2.5 million to 5 million. Yet in Uganda here, you're signing 1.5 or even 500,000, and it's not even paid on time. So why don't I cross over and I take care of the family? Because remember, most of these players who are crossing, most of them are families are expected. Some of them are expecting to be having children soon. So Andama Junior, I think, is better. He looked for a better location. Let him look for a new environment. He had been with Onduparaka. He has been one of the patient players with the Duparaka team. So
You know, it's a huge career
he
down in
started his
Calvary.
yeah. So if but I have, for all the years I've been around, I've been seeing him playing for Nduparaka.
He has played for Calvary, he crossed over to Orwa Hill, then he
Yes,
crossed over to
Nduparaka,
Ondupraka.
yeah. So he has been a good player, a very patient player. Although at times his kind of football, you look at him as if he's slow, but he's a very calculated player. I think the Qatari project, the club itself, they are trying to look at something that could push them to play I think they're going to play Continental.
Yeah, they're going to play in the Cup,
Yeah.
Confederation
So
Cup.
if they truly go and perform well with the squad they're trying to get from Uganda, it's going to be some competition, because remember also the South Sudanese players are also there who are too good. So it's going to develop some good competition. I just pray that they go and become a starter, but not bench warmers. You understand? In your club, when you still have it's a very good development that from big league to a Premier League champions in South Sudan. But how strong is the club? That's the question. But they are the champions, and they are going to play. Everybody wants to be exposed. You never know. They may get opportunities. Some of them may get opportunities crossing from South Sudan to another better clubs.
All right, let's first talk about Benjamin's story. Remember, from Paida Black Angels, how influential he has been for Paida Black Angels for 2 seasons, and he said to cross over. These players, remember, these are still young players. Are they moving in for money, or they're moving in for playing time? Remember, in Uganda here, these players have not been granted the opportunity to play for the national team.
You see, in Uganda here, the system tells itself. But I think at the same time, you see at Paida Black Angels, these are fan-based clubs, whereby it all goes to financial. But he has been one of the key players at Paida, a very good flank player. There's no doubt about him. The talent speaks about it, and I do believe he's one of the guys who are going to push a little bit ahead and move over to the next level. That's if he puts all his heart into the system. You know, as I say, it's all about playing instruction from the coach. You may love to play your own system, but if you don't follow instructions, you also slants down. The only thing is, they should go and maintain discipline, maintain more discipline, and it will earn them more. But there's no doubt, it's all about money at Paida. As you know, from big league, you join, that excitement is there, fine. It's going to be all over TV, all over kind of, so marketing wise, let them go and market themselves more and more, and let them make the club also bigger.
All right, Maurice, let's first come back to the script and talk about the KCA story. And remember, there are coaches in the names of Brian Asenando and a coach in the names of Jackson Magera did speak to the media actually this evening that they are here to make KCA proud again. They want to see KCA come back to their glory days, and what they are in here is for a target. And the target, you see that KCA becomes one of the most recognized clubs in Uganda football. Remember, one of the giant clubs you have got in the country. You could talk about KCA, you could talk about AC Villa, Express, Vipers now. So they are here to make KCA proud again. How sure are you that they will be important to make KCA proud again? You remember, KCA have kind of engaged in a couple of actual managers who have struggled. I mean, at the helm of KCA, you could talk about Abdallah Mubiru, was once in there, and then a coach in the names of Molly Brokers also struggled at KCA. Are we seeing these coaches making amends at KCA?
You see, it depends on your dream, because if you look at their target and then you look at players at KCC at the moment, you look at KCC is having the youngest squad in the country amongst all these clubs.
Remember, they've signed Ivan.
All these clubs. If you look at, they're having a 16 years and a 17 years, I think like 6 players. There's no any player more than 30 years. Their oldest player is only 28 years. And there are only like 6 players in the whole squad of 33-man squad. So I think if you come and like motivate the young lads, young lads who could listen to you, who could respect you, I think their dream will go through, because that is the age that wants to show the world that, yeah, I'm here, I can make it. Not only showing, they also want to get other markets somewhere else. These players, they are good to go if they follow the right instruction by these coaches, because they have not also been doing bad in their record. So I believe they'll transform KCC because of this young squad.
Remember, he has said that the core value is that KCC players and the technical team needs to have discipline. That's one of the core areas that he actually talked about, and then he wants to make it a team of fairnessness, and every club that comes there need to have that fear factor that they are going to play KCC, one of the giant clubs in Ghana football, and he wants to address the dressing room issue. Remember, the most thing for you to do is to address your dressing room issue. If the fracas happen in the dressing room, the big-headed players, if you don't change them away, probably you may lose your job. So one of the factors that he thinks he wants to add into KCC is to see that the dressing room is disciplined, and KCC players play with ambition.
It's true, you know, in each and every club and every institution, if there's no discipline, there's no success. You look at, if I'll give you an example of these international players, so-called the Garnachos. They don't need them because they don't have, they're indisciplined, they have indisciplined cases. So he's trying to devolve this fear that I am the boss coming to do instruction, and with I don't care whether you're a star, whether you're not a star, you will go if you don't respect my words. So I think is one of the best. According to me, it's one of the best. Is one of the best things to do. Come, reshuffle those who don't listen to you. Let them go. And maintain some of them whom you think that they can still help you. With the young lads, KCC is one of the clubs that don't lack money. They have the money. So I ask myself, KCC has more money than even Express, than even Villa. But why is it every year they keep on changing coaches? I keep on asking myself, they should give this guy time, like other coaches. They come and say, give me time, and I prove myself. If the squad that he got is not good for him, then he should actually begin looking for new players of his choice. So I think if they give these guys time, they will make a better KCC.
All right, let's talk about Mparara City Football Club. Remember, Mparara City kind of struggled last season in the startups of Ghana Premier League. Things were not moving smoothly for them. At the end, they had to lose their coach in the names of Charles Livingstone Babas midway through in the times of Ghana Premier League, and this is a team that is set to lose around 7 players, first team players for them, and it's kind of very, very embarrassing to see that most of these players are leaving, and it is the same issue with a team in the names of Chitel Football Club, whereby a couple of players are leaving them. One of them is Judy Semugabi, who is set to cross over to South Sudan in the team in the names of Jamus Football Club. So we had to see some of the players that Mparara City Football Club is set to release them, includes players in the names of Peter Onzima, all from West Nile. You know, he's joined actually Mparara City from AC Villa on a 6-month contract, and this is a player who is set to leave Mparara City Football Club in there. Most of them, to me, they're kind of average players in Ugandan football, and if you want to see that remain competitive in the league, you have to act some of these players in here. So Mparara City, I think the CEO is trying to make amends and see that most of these players leave. Other lot of players that are set to leave Mparara City include players in the names of Ibrahim Kazindola, and then you have Edward Namasa. He also said to leave Mparara City Football, and then Hilary Musisi is said to leave Mparara City Football Club, and then Paul Bosolo is said to leave, and then Aaron Okoi is also said to leave Mparara City, and then goalkeeper Abdul Shimera is one of the latest players set to leave a team in the names of Mparara City Football Club in there. Maurice, let's talk about Arsenal Football Club before we come and talk about the test game that will be coming up today against Fluminense. Let's first talk about Arsenal's after the new arrivals in the names of Kepa Arrizabalaga, whom they signed from Chelsea Football Club for around £5 million in there. They signed a player in the names of Martin Zubimendi, and then the latest acquisition for them is a player in the names of Christian Nogard from Team Brentford. Is Arsenal Football Club ready for Premier League?
If you look at the signing of Arsenal, they're really ready. This time they made it sign on time, let the players get used to each other. Let them get used into the system of the coach. So I think the signing that I'm doubting is only this keeper from Chelsea. I doubt whether he's coming to be the first choice goalkeeper or maybe a bench material goalkeeper, because if you look at Ryan, is still good. He's a very good goalkeeper, whereby it's although the competition is big, we have FA there, you have Carabao, you have Champions League, you have you have a lot. So it's going to be a little bit hectic. You have the Premier League itself. I know it's coming, but it's not going to be a starter. Zumendi coming is the best, because Thomas Partey had left, whereby in the middle of the park he will be controlling the boys there. Yeah, the young lad that they've got from Brentford is also a good signing. So this time Arteta is really for real competition, and big clubs should watch out for Arsenal this season.
Remember, one of the latest players thought to be joining a team in the name of Newcastle United is Anthony Langa, former of Manchester United. Remember, he has been so tremendous for a club in the name of Nottingham Forest. In there, will he be a very good addition for Newcastle United, and who will be playing in the Champions League? Will he be a very good one for Newcastle United? Remember, at United thought that this is a player who is yet to sign in, and he went into that team of Nottingham Forest, and he made amends. And under Nuno Espirito Santo, he was a player to talk about.
I think one of the young lads signing of last season, I probably said it when Nottingham Forest signed Elanga. I said Elanga is going to help Nottingham Forest a lot. Manchester lost the best player, and it's true. Then there's no doubt, you look at the physicality, the runs on the ball, and the kind of goals he score. It shows is a complete good player. He's playing maturity game. Going to Newcastle, it will be a very good move, because you look at that support from maybe from Joelinton, that force of if they're to maintain a sack, then it's going to be a very good combination in between him and the sack. That's if Newcastle are to maintain. Remember, it is a very good signing for Newcastle.
Remember that striker in the names of Wilson is leaving for Saudi money.
Yeah. So it's going to be a very good replacement, because you have seen Elanga's football talks by itself that he has been a young lad whom Manchester United undermined, but when he joined, I like the way he joined the club. He went for a middle club that nobody expected Nottingham even to put pressure on big clubs up to that level. From the position where they finished, it was because of most of the Elanga's assist and contribution.
And remember, he scored a solid goal against United under Ruben Amorim, and that was a game that everyone thought that Anthony Langa deserved to play for Manchester United, and the Manchester United hierarchy will be getting £6 million after that. Whenever he crosses over to Team Newcastle United, that's the amount of money that Manchester United will actually be gaining in there. Let's talk about Manchester City. Remember, Pep Guardiola did say that this next season will be a bad one for them, just because of the FIFA Club World Cup. Remember, so many actual coaches, so many actual pundits have come actually on board to criticize the FIFA Club World Cup, and the latest actually is Pep Guardiola saying that this is what he has never seen in football before, and he thinks his Manchester City side will struggle in the Premier League after playing too many games last season, and the latest one was the actual ejection by Team Al Hilal of Saudi Pro League, and Manchester City are back in England after missing out playing in the quarterfinals and the semi-finals and finals of the FIFA Club World Cup ongoing down in America. Let's first talk about the player that they are so much interested in. They're talking about Inter Milan's actual player in the names of Dumfries. He has been so influential for the Italian Giants, and one of the latest players that Pep Guardiola is talking about is Tino Livramento of Team Newcastle United. Is it high time that Manchester City go to the bank and break? They actually money back in them, then went on for these players. These are top good players. Remember, Livramento is still very young, and play in the names of Dumfries is kind of 28 years
it's
now.
28. It's 29 years.
Yes.
Whereby it's going to be a short-term project move for them. Is still a good player. He's still on his high peak. Is one of the best kind of back players. So, like, if you look at, if I could suggest for them to bring the young lad
Left from
from Brentford.
From Newcastle
From
United.
Newcastle United, yeah. I do believe if they bring this lad, it's a long-term project. You see, Man City won all these trophies because they had young lads by then. The De Bruyne's they had to get better with the David Silvas, with the Gundogans, the Mahrez.
But do you think Pep Guardiola still have got defensive actual errors to still fix out?
I don't believe too much in Akanji.
Remember, Carl Walker was on loan. He's crossing over to Burnley Football Club.
Yeah, it's now on permanent deal. Akanji is not a defender that I truly believe in. He's so shaky.
You remember this left back, I mean a right back that Pep Guardiola is talking about.
So they are trying to push this guy from to replace kind of. But now if you made the right back go,
Akanji can play those flanks.
Akanji could play, but if you look at Akanji is not too good into that flank. So if you bring him somebody who has been in Premier League, who knows Premier League, I think is better. Let's
talk about the academy graduate in the names of Rico Luis. This guy has been so influential for Pep Guardiola.
But he cannot play heavy games. You know, the reason why also Arsenal kind of missed trophies last season because of young lads. These young lads kind of got stuck on the way, injury front. So it's better you have very many options in the club than sticking on only 1 to 2 players. Better have 3 players in one position to create that good competition. I think that's one of the best.
Yeah, one of the latest players that I think Pep Guardiola will be giving much of the playing time is playing in the names of Matheus Nunes. This is a player who came in and in his first debut for Manchester City, he looked very impressive. What could be the challenge with him for Manchester City?
No, he's a good player, but yet he's yet getting better into the team. He's yet knowing the system well. It's all about knowing the system and learning how this one is. How I'm going to pass to maybe De Bruyne. How am I going to pass to Duku? So know how. At what time should this guy is going to make a run? So he's not a bad player, but he should be given time to master all these guys together and they join a strong team. But Man City is good to go for the next gong. Guardiola is just talking. Why is it not Chelsea complaining that we have over complained? Although I know some clubs have also complained, but he's just talking because he wants media attention.
Okay, that's according to Morris in there. But according to me, Pep Guardiola is kind of right to see that he complained to the authority to see that this kind of tournament needs to be fixed actually in a specific period of time in there. Let's first talk about the game that Chelsea Football Club will be playing against the Fluminense of Brazil. The game will be at at 9 p.m. East African time. You have to be on time for this game, and this will be a very big game. And one of the latest players that Chelsea Football Club will be meeting is a player in the names of Modric will not be playing for Chelsea Football Club. You remember, his actual doping ban is still going on. Yeah. Then one of the latest players is Wesley Fofana. He will not be playing for Chelsea Football Club. But remember, Fluminense will take on Chelsea Football Club in the FIFA Club World Cup semi-final. And this will look to be a game that everyone needs to take opportunities. How do you see Chelsea approaching this game? Remember, Fluminense have been so instrumental. Remember, they are 11 matches unbeaten in this competition. So
11 matches unbeaten, 4 clean sheets, 5 clean sheets. It means a lot. It shows the meaning that they are one of the giants in Brazil, in Brazilian league. So Chelsea should not take this game for granted because they also want to reach the final. And being like Fluminense is at home, according to the fixture as it said, it's going to be a very difficult game for Team Chelsea. Remember, Delap is not going to play also because of the yellow card they got against Palmeiras.
Yes.
Like that, there are two upfront players, Delap and some new arrival. forgetting
Yo, Pedro.
Pedro is also not going to play because of the yellow cards they acquired. So it's tricky. For this time, for me, I'm seeing something new coming to Brazil, that I will be seeing a Brazilian team jumping into the final with team from France. That's according to me, just my decision, my kind of thinking. I don't want to be an octopus, but I think people may believe I'm an octopus because all the games that I've been saying this team is moving out, it had been going on so well. So with all these kind of missing players who are very important at Chelsea, it's going to cause them a damage.
All right, let me first take you through the team news of this particular game. For Fluminense, remember, they're the home side. For them, they're sent back in the names of Juan Pablo and then midfield in the names of Matias Martinelli, both ruled out due to suspension. Fluminense are likely to step up in a 3-4-1-2 formation. That will be up against Chelsea Football Club. And then for Chelsea Football Club, like I earlier said, Modric is unavailable due to the doping ban. And then Wesley Fofana is ruled out actually with the hamstring issue. And then Liam Delap and Levi Cowell are both suspended after receiving yellow cards actually in the quarterfinals against Palmeiras in there. More, let's talk about individuals here. Nono Madueke has been the talking point in that team of Chelsea Football Club. Remember, Arsenal has been actually fighting hard to see that they're signing actually this player, and Chelsea are demanding around 50 million pounds for this guy. Will he be in position to make amends for Chelsea Football Club? Remember, Chelsea Football Club wants to give him that opportunity actually to see that he attracts more shooters in there. Before we talked about the dilemma that Enzo Moresca will be having up front, let's first talk about Nuno Madueke and his contribution for Team Chelsea Football Club in the Euros. In the FIFA Club World Cup so far has been impressive. And let's first describe actually his performance for Chelsea.
He is a very good player, and like at the moment you cannot put a player on market yet. You still need his services. So that one automatically, whether you like it or not, it will tarnish the image of the player in different directions. So the question is, he may not perform well because he already knows anytime he may cross over to Arsenal. But at the same time, as a player, you need to perform your best so that you kill that market off. So that you go, you're truly happy that they should trust in you that, yeah, this is the man we bought. This is the man who made Chelsea won the Conference League. This is the man who made Chelsea won the FIFA Club World Cup. So I think he's not a bad player. He's a very good player. The question is, will they start him?
All right, Maurice, let's first talk about the general view of this game. Remember, all these teams have been so lively, and up front, Team Fluminense has been so lively, and then at the back line, they've been solid, and both teams have been so solid in there. Let's first look at individual players here. In goal, Team Fluminense have got one of the biggest players in the names of Fabio in goal. And let's talk about that central defense partnership. They have got Santos and a player in the names of Thiago Silva, who played for Chelsea Football Club, and again he played for a team in the names of Paris Saint-Germain, and then Ignacio. These are legends in the game of football. They will be actually facing up against youngsters of Chelsea Football Club in the names of Marco Correa, but as a Philly, and then they have got Chaloba and then Gusto to play against. So, comparing the backlines, where do you think that
I think
the team has got which team has got the upper hand to unlock the defense?
If you look at the upper hand goes to Fluminense. A team cleaning 5 clean sheets and then 11 consistent means a lot. So that means defensively, with the experience of Silva, no doubt about him. I remember at one point he denied Mo Salah to score against Chelsea. So he's one of the best defenders so far I've ever watched. With more experience, I think still on a better side. I go for Fluminense in the defense.
Morris, let's before we go to Manchester United, let's first talk about the dilemma that Enzo Moresca will be facing up front. You remember, he did say that João Pedro needs to adapt into that team of Chelsea Football Club. And remember, Liam Delap will not be playing for Chelsea Football Club, and then playing in the names of Nicolas Jackson is back for Chelsea Football Club. If you were to be Enzo Moresca, which player will you start up front?
I think I could go with I could start both of Jackson and Pedro because they're all good.
Now, where we leave the likes of Nuno Madeke, the likes
No,
of Cole Palmer,
like,
where we leave them?
Because Cole Palmer can play from the middle of the flank. You understand? Madueke can also play from the flank. Now, if you start with Jackson, you could say, because this guy Pedro can even come as a number 10, escorting the striker Jackson himself. So you make the two flanks very heavy. Madueke the other side. You understand? So it would be very simple for these guys to kill off the game. But if you want a pressure player or someone who will mount pressure, you start with Jackson and Yao Pedro. Yao Pedro can even come from number 11. Then you make Madueke come from 7. Then now you make Jackson stand as a number 9. So I think if you start both of them, this guy first of all will come with this pressure. I would like to express my fans that the Chelsea fans that I am the new lad on chat. So it's better I start with the two.
We a minute to close the show. Let's first talk about two players, and Manchester United are looking at Jamie Vardy up front. Are they still in crisis? That's Manchester. You remember the player that they have been started to be signing. They talked about Victor Gyökeres of Team Sporting CP, and it's like he's crossing over to a team in the name of Arsenal Football Club. They talked about a player in the name of Victor Osman. It's like he's crossing over somewhere else. Then they talked about Hugo Ekitike of Eintracht Frankfurt, and Manchester currently is talking about a player in the names of Jamie Vardy, who has scored 145 Premier League goals for Team Leicester City. Is this the right move for United? I think Manchester United seems to be in crisis when it comes to strikers.
No, they're in big crisis, and for me, I think they're just beating around the bush to confuse people. Right now, Manchester United they cannot talk about the right player they want to bring. At one point, you hear Ivan Toney. You understand? And if I was to be one of the directors at Manchester United, I could go for Ivan Toney. He's still a young boy. Why should I go for a 30 years old plus player? Yet Calvert-Lewin is also there, very available at any price you can get him. So I think the sporting director and the entire team, the scouting team of Manchester United, they are not serious. By the time they were talking about Mbeumo truly wanted to come at Manchester United, pick the money, bring this Cameroonian international, let him start up the game. You already have Chunya, one of the best attacking force who have been in Premier League last season. So if you motivate him with another good striker like Mbeumo, it would have been a done business for Manchester United. But due to delay, Thomas Frank had to first cross to Spurs. Then he said, one of my best friends at the club used to be Mbeumo, and is one of my first choice. So now the confusion is one. Mbeumo would come to Manchester United, but now he also have that development. I want to play Champions League football. So it's right now very difficult for a player who wants to play Europa football.
Not even Europa.
Champions League, domestic football. You say, who cannot come at Manchester United, but I would like Manchester United to go down and look for these good young kids. Good young kids are there.
Let's talk about the Jack Grealish saga. Remember, Manchester City have set out the asking price for him, £40 million for Jack Grealish, and a couple of clubs are talking about. Al Hilal of Saudi Pro League is talking about, Al Nassr is talking about that. Then Newcastle United is as well talking about his Tottenham Hotspur, and then Napoli are all talking about Jack Grealish services. After all these clubs, where do you expect a player in the name of Jack Grealish, who is already 29 years old, to go in?
If I want to play better football, not money issues, I'll go to Napoli. Yeah, real competition, because they are the champions in Italian Serie A. So that means they still have a lot of expectation in Jack Grealish, and he's one of the good players. Now you ask myself, like, I would even advise Manchester United to come for Jack Grealish because he's still 29. He can still copy up for short-term projects, but at Napoli, I think he shoots better.
All right, viewers, we're kind of time, but remember, up next will be the political actor watching here. The guest is already around we shall be giving much of the time actually to see that the guest comes in, and it will be important to give you the in-depth that he has got in him to see that he speaks to the voters, and everything will be moving right here on Saturday TV. It has been me, Geroh, the host of the show. I did have Maurice with me in the studio, and this show is proudly sponsored by Sabirama Global Actual Ventures Limited. And they are the sole sponsors of this show. We are so proud that you were cutting. And remember, we did connect to Tioke live here in the studios, and the media officer of Moyo Star live from Moyo District, and they all talked about a couple of interesting, the programs coming up. So probably tomorrow we shall be catching up with the big actual live press conference, wherever it will be. So I'll be connecting to Tioke after here. Up next is the political watch. It has been me, Gerald, and Maurice Bangaken, the only product actually in West Nile. Always the worldwide. We're out of here. Up next is the political watch. We're out of here.
Thank you.
Bye.